I used to think leadership was all about giving orders until I realized no one was actually listening. If you have ever been in a workplace where your boss says, I trust you completely, and then proceed to check the email draft before you actually send it, congratulations, you have earned conditional trust. I've had my fair share of leaders, some inspiring, some character building. But through all of that, I discovered three key lessons that shape the way I look at leadership and the way I look at change. These lessons come not just from theory, but also from the key experiences that I've had, from being an intern to a student leader and interviewing change managers at Foodstuff, a company that went through a massive transformation. So, today I want to share three key main insights that I believe every leader should know when leading change in a complex world. In my first internship, my manager was that kind of person who everyone wants to work with. He was playful, he was sharp, and most importantly, trusted his team completely. He never micromanaged. He never asked whether is that done yet. He simply said, I know you'll figure it out. And the thing is, because he trusted me, I never wanted to let him down. And this is what I've learned. The currency of leadership is trust. Later, I have another manager who was completely opposite. She panicked under pressure and micromanaged every small decision. And her stress made me panic as well. And this contrast taught me something valuable. People don't resist change, they resist being controlled. According to leader member exchange theory, high quality relationships built on mutual trust and respect leads to stronger commitment and better performance. And transformational leadership reinforces this. When leaders show individualized consideration, people naturally tend to go an extra mile. If you think about Levin's unfreeze, change, and refreeze model, the unfreezing doesn't happen through PowerPoints and policies. It starts when people feel safe enough to open their minds. At Foodstuff, that's what exactly the leaders did. They built trust before change. Instead of announcing a grand plan, they formed guiding coalitions, a concept which is straight out of Kotter's Step 2, to co create the vision. So let me ask you this. Have you ever done your best work under someone who trusted you or someone who managed you? Yeah, that's the difference trust makes. We live in what's called a VUCA world: volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And many leaders still act as if everything is simple. At Foodstuff, leaders face constant change: digital upgrades, new royalty systems, multiple owners, and complex web of stakeholders. You can't just say follow the plan, because in the complex system, plan changes daily. This is where frameworks like Seinfeld helps. It tells us not all problems are the same. Some are complicated, some are complex, and some are chaotic. In complex situations, leaders don't need to know all the answers. They need to help others experiment, sense pattern, and adapt to it. I once had a manager in New Zealand that did this beautifully. Whenever something went wrong, he didn't panic. He would say, what we can learn from this. He put others first, stayed calm, and focused on the solutions. It was like working with a human version of mindfulness. And that's the key, I guess. Adaptive leadership is not about finding solutions, but knowing how to navigate through it. And honestly, isn't life itself a bit VUCA? If you have ever cooked vegan food for the first time, you would know what complex and ambiguous means. During my undergrad years, I led a student committee. We were under resourced, over caffeinated like any other student team. There were days where I worked extra hard so that others can rest. Not for recognition, but because I genuinely wanted them to. That's when I learned the essence of servant leadership: leading by serving first. The best leaders I've worked with, whether in New Zealand or in India, had the same trait. They kept the mood light, gave honest feedback, and always asked questions before reacting. That's not weakness, that's emotional intelligence. Servant leaders focus on people, not power. They build trust, loyalty, and intrinsic motivation, the kind that keeps people engaged during hard times. The force field analysis by Kurt Lewins shows that in every change, there are driving forces, which are pushing for progress, and resisting forces, which are holding you back. Servant leadership works because it reduces resistance. When people feel respected and heard, they don't push back, they lean in it. And at Foodstuff, servant leadership showed up in the company's purpose. Year for New Zealand. That wasn't just a slogan, it reflected leaders who were not just bosses, but stewards. So I'll ask you this: if leadership isn't about serving others, then who are we leading? When I look back at all these experiences, from being trusted by a playful manager to working under pressure under a controlling one, from leading a small team to understanding how a big company changed, one truth stands out. Change doesn't fail because people hate it. It fails because people don't feel safe enough to trust it. Theories like VUCA, Seinfeld, Kotter gave us these maps. But trust, adaptability, and service, those are the compass. If you remember nothing else from this talk, remember this. Leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of the people under your charge. And in the world which is constantly changing, maybe the best leaders aren't the ones who are shouting, "Follow me!" Maybe they are the ones who are quietly saying, "I'm here for you, and let's figure it out together." That's all from my side. I'll see you next time.